Kansas City, here we come. I don't think so. But anyway, you got to talk about the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs were once an AFL franchise. However, they weren't known as the Kansas City Chiefs all the time. It was the Dallas Texans. The Dallas Texans were the brainchild of the AFL, trying to get a professional team in Texas because the NFL refused to have a team in Texas. Although there was a team in Dallas called the Texans in 1952 in the NFL. Unfortunately, that team basically folded because they couldn't win a game to save their lives. Actually, they did win a game against the Chicago Bears. No, sorry, they were winless. But the Bears coach was unhappy because the game was a tie or something like that. The worst part about those Dallas Texans was that the college and high school games outsold what the Dallas Texans could do. The Dallas Texans basically had a lot of their players go into the Baltimore Colts system. So that's what it has to be. It has to be. It has to be. So anyway, the Kansas City Chiefs were the Dallas Texans. And the Dallas Texans played one of the most famous AFL games of all time, the 1962 AFL Championship game against the Houston Oilers. When it went to overtime, Dallas's star running back Abner Hayes basically won the coin flip, and he decided to kick to the clock. One problem, though, he said kick to the clock, trying to do some kind of move. Thankfully for Hayes and the Chiefs, they actually ended up winning that game in double overtime. So good on them. Anyway, the Kansas City Chiefs are known as the first AFL team to be playing in the Super Bowl against an NFL team, that being the Green Bay Packers. Unfortunately, Green Bay was set. Vince Lombardi was a star coach. Bart Starr was a good quarterback. They had some very good players like Forrest Gregg and Jerry Kramer up front. Some great defenders. And Boyd Dowler as a good wide receiver. Max McGee actually was a fading star. He didn't think he would play, so he basically went out partying and was hung over. But unfortunately, due to an injury to Dowler, he had to come in the game, and he caught the first ever touchdown in Super Bowl history. Sorry, Kansas City. However, the Chiefs would actually get a little bit of revenge 3 years later on the NFL. In the final AFL NFL Super Bowl, the Chiefs beat the Vikings, the heavily favored Vikings, 23-7. Hank Stram said, keep it trickling down the field like a Chinese fire drill and all that. So Kansas City finally wins the big one. Good for them. However, the Chiefs would be snake bit by the fact that they would be in a tight division with the Oakland Raiders and the Denver Broncos, among other teams. Kansas City was so bad in the 80s. I remember reading this in a book that one of the players, Bill Moss, before he played for the Packers, said, I actually left 2 Chiefs tickets on the windshield of my car, ready to be swiped. When I came back to my car, there were 4 tickets. It was in Kansas City. True story. But the Chiefs just couldn't get over the hump. They did have a great player, a great star in the making by the name of Joe Delaney, who was a very good running back. However, Joe Delaney passed away in 1983, drowning trying to save boys. At least Delaney did something heroic. He was posthumously given the Presidential Medal of Bravery for what he did, even though he couldn't swim. Unfortunately for the Chiefs, things look bad. However, Kansas City had a good defender by the name of Derek Thomas, who was one of the best linebackers around in history. He was a sacks machine. He even had 7 sacks in one game against the Kansas City Chiefs and almost sacked Dave Craig of the Seahawks on the final play, but Craig threw a touchdown to, I don't know who that guy is. Brendan? I don't think it was Brendan. But anyway, Seahawks won that game. So anyway, Kansas City built themselves up. They had decent quarterbacks like Elvis Grbac and a few other quarterbacks. Their first main quarterback after Len Dawson was Steve DeBerg, and then nothing else till Joe Montana popped out of freaking nowhere. He was willing and able to play for the team. The Chiefs snatched him up, and it paid dividends. Not just because Joe Montana actually beat Steve Young, the guy who basically knocked him off the throne, but he led the Kansas City Chiefs to the 1993-94 AFC Championship game, especially by their big win in Houston at the Astrodome in the final Oilers playoff game of all time, with J.J. Bergen's famous throw off the yap of Buddy Ryan. Anyway, Montana did great. Montana magic. And then all of a sudden, Montana got hurt in the AFC title game in Buffalo. Buffalo went on to their fourth Super Bowl appearance. People were actually predicting a Montana Young Super Bowl in '94. Unfortunately, both teams lost in the conference finals to Dallas and Buffalo. So anyway, that's not the team I'm doing, obviously. The Chiefs had decent luck. '97, they were looking to be one of the best teams around. They had home field advantage in '97-'98, but Denver came into town and beat them. But Kansas City had a curse of field goal kickers when Elliott made some critical mistakes in '95 in a big game against the Miami Dolphins, the Colts, the Colts missing 2 chip shot field goals. And then Stoyanovich, when he signed with the Chiefs after the Dolphins, missed some key field goals for the Chiefs in that '97 divisional round game against the Broncos. Another famous playoff loss that should never have happened is the what if, but more on that later. Anyway, the Chiefs had the odd habit of getting close to the Super Bowl, but always faltering in some shape or form in the playoffs. Case in point, Patrick Mahomes' great year last year in the 2018-19 season, when he basically was named MVP for good reason. Kareem Hunt had that famous hurdle that me and my friend were watching. Like it went woo, 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 woo. Unfortunately, Kareem Hunt stupidly got in trouble with the law, and even though he's with Cleveland, he's out for the first half of the season because of it. But he's taking it in stride. Anyway, the Kansas City Chiefs were the #1 seed last year, and they looked good. But the Patriots would unfortunately be their downfall. Patriots, Chiefs in overtime. Patriots get the ball first in overtime, march down the field, touchdown, game over. I feel bad for Kansas City. And truth of the matter is my sister has been a Kansas City fan for a long time, but I basically tell her that the problem with Kansas City is that they have terrible playoff losses. All that. I wasn't trying to recruit her to be a Patriots fan. My sister probably told me to shut the crap up. And my sister can beat me up. She's 5'2", and I'm 5'11", but she can still beat the shit out of me. So anyway, so yeah, the Chiefs had some terrible playoff losses. One in particular was in 2014 against the Indy Colts in the wild card game. The Chiefs had a chance to win. They were up by 27 points or something like that, and then the Colts came roaring back. That was just unbelievable how the Chiefs could have fucked it up to the Indianapolis Colts. Kansas City is known as a great regular season team, but the playoffs come, it's terrible. You can kind of blame Marty Schottenheimer because Marty Schottenheimer was coach of the Chiefs at that time. But let's talk about the what if, the 2003 what if. The 2003 Chiefs started out 9-0, amazing start to the season. They were at home against the Indianapolis Colts. Peyton Manning had to win a wild card game to face Trent Green and the Kansas City Chiefs. So, unfortunately for the Chiefs, they lost. But it was a memorable game for one reason. And that reason was it was the first, and I think to this day, only playoff game in history that had no punts. No Hunter Smith, no Kansas City punter. Whoever that was. I don't know who it was. They didn't punt. Manning versus Green. It was an offensive battleground. And unfortunately for the Chiefs, they lost. Colts would then go on to get their asses handed to them by the Patriots, who then won the Super Bowl. So the 13-3 Kansas City Chiefs were denied a chance to take on the 14-2 New England Patriots in New England. New England was the 1 seed no matter what. So, easy enough. We got the scenario. And the scenario is easy. You got the Chiefs against the Patriots. Chiefs win. They take on the 2003-04 Carolina Panthers. They lose, and the Patriots win the Super Bowl, in a sense. So the weather is medium precipitation, 30 Fahrenheit, no wind. Well, I'm mimicking the real life conditions. Oh my God, this game went to en prolongation for Kansas City. So New England took a 10-7 lead. Let's just look at the fourth quarter and overtime things. Anderson kicked the field goal to tie it. New England started a drive from their own 35. They got caught at the 36, at the Chiefs 36, and didn't have enough for Vinatieri for a field goal. They punted. Kansas City couldn't do anything about it. New England couldn't do. Kansas City in the fourth quarter had a chance. Unfortunately for them, they couldn't get in New England territory. So overtime comes up. The Patriots kick off to the Chiefs. The Chiefs have a 3rd and 10 at their own 30. But Johnny Morton catches the ball for 12 yards. First down. First few downs there. They're at the 28-yard line. Larry Johnson gets 1 yard on a run. Priest Holmes gets 6 yards. It's 3rd and 3 at the 21. You're thinking maybe they'll kick the field goal. But they didn't. Larry Johnson pitched right to the 7-yard line. And then Priest Holmes gets a 7-yard touchdown run, and the Kansas City Chiefs beat the New England Patriots in the Super Bowl. Great job there. 1913. Well, they're going to the Super Bowl, sorry. Vinatieri with a field goal, and then a pick six. It was 10-0 Patriots, and they couldn't do anything else after that. Priest Holmes got a touchdown catch from Green, and then it was the battle of field goals before Priest Holmes gets a touchdown, and he's the player of the game. Not much on the running game or the receiving game. Trent Green does throw for 288 yards in New England, of all places. 19 for 30, a touchdown and a pick. Tom Brady, 12 for 29, 146 with a pick. Kansas City's pick was Scott Fujita, while Eugene Wilson had that pick six. Both kickers did not miss the field goals. So now we got ourselves another 2003 thing. I think we've been doing the 2003-04 season for a long time with these what ifs recently. Now we got to go to Reliant Stadium in Houston, where the Super Bowl was. I feel like this is like the 3rd time I've had to go to the stadium. Remember, in this scenario, we leave the NFC alone. And lo and behold, holy macaroni, Kansas City not only wins the what if to make it only the 6th of 26 teams to get their happy ending, they crushed Carolina 41-14. Good Lord. So anyway, it was not a contest. Carolina did not have to lead at all. Ricky Prohl got a touchdown catch from DeHome to make it 7-7, and Deshaun Foster did get a touchdown run, but too little too late. Priest Holmes, 2-yard touchdown run the first. Second quarter, Anderson with a field goal. Priest Holmes, another touchdown run. Larry Johnson goes over the for a 24-7 lead. Eddie Kenninson with a touchdown catch from Green. Priest Holmes with a 28-yard run, and then Martin Anderson field goal. Priest Holmes, the hero. Why not? 152 yards. Almost triple. More than tripled Stephen Davis's output. Ronnie Pete did come in the game late for Carolina, throwing for 4 for 6, 53 yards. Delhomme, 10 for 31, 129, 2 picks against him. Trent Green didn't throw that badly. 221, but could have been better. Picks by Ryan Sims and Dexter McClayon for the Ram. Morton Anderson with 2 field goals. So Kansas City got their happy ending after all. And if my sister ever watches this, which I doubt she will, she'll know that Kansas City, at least I gave her something to cheer for. And I'll leave it at that.